Connor McDavid is undoubtedly one of the most talented NHL players of all time. In a league that is more talented than ever, in my opinion, he's a tier above everybody. It is truly special when you watch him, the impact he has on the ice, whether he's playing with the best Canadians, the best Americans. When he's on the ice, you can feel it. He's the best player on the Oilers by far. He makes a difference in every series, yet he's never won the big one. He's never won an Olympic gold medal. He's never won a Stanley Cup in 2 trips to the finals now and lots of years in the playoffs. Connor McDavid is a special type of athlete, a once-in-a-generation. When you get the opportunity to get that first overall pick, you look for a guy like McDavid. And Connor McDavid just won the Olympics MVP, the most valuable player, but won silver. Was on the ice in overtime, tried to make a play through 3 American defenders when maybe he shouldn't have, and was on the ice for a play that ended the Canadians' dreams of Olympic gold. Connor McDavid wrote in his autobiography how much the Olympics mattered to him, how much winning mattered to him, and he'll have to wait. The only thing McDavid has won as an NHL professional is the 4 Nations. Now, sure, 4 Nations was best on best. It was a great idea by the NHL, a great tournament, whatever. It's not Olympic gold. Cool. You won 4 Nations. There was 4 teams to beat in a fun tournament where the Americans did beat you once. I know it wasn't the final, whatever, but at the end of the day, the Americans have that Olympic gold medal to boast about. Connor McDavid, and I'll just read them out for you here. It's going to be a little bright for me. Is a 7 times All-Star. Again, All-Stars are a little bit different as the years have changed, with like 2025 and 2026 not having official All-Stars. A 5-time Art Ross Trophy winner. A Hart Memorial Trophy winner 3 times, so an MVP 3 times. The Ted Lindsay Award, so the best regular season player, voted by the players 4 times. The Maurice Richard Trophy for top goal scorer once. A Conn Smythe in 2024, which is crazy because he didn't even win. Youngest captain in NHL history. Most playoff assists in a season. That was the 2024 run as well. And it was tough. It was tough to see McDavid standing there on the Canadian sideline, watching the Americans. You can just kind of see it in his face, for the first time. As Crosby gets injured, which I think Crosby would have been a major difference maker in that gold medal. I really wish he got to play. I love watching Crosby, but that's a different segment. When you see McDavid and he's sad on that sideline, his face is just defeated. It's got to be tough, especially recently for him. You come back from 3-0 down against Florida to a Game 7, to a close Game 7, one of the best games. You go and you face that Panthers team again. You lose again. And the Oilers have had their struggles this year, even though McDavid has like 96 points and is having a record season. I think at this point, McDavid would love to win. And that is something that in sports matters more than anything. Now, I want to say this. Is it only on McDavid? Is it McDavid choking in the big moments? Is he not a big game player? I don't want to say that, because he isn't, right? When you talk about winners and losers, a lot of the time the losers aren't playing well enough to be winners. You know what I mean? But McDavid isn't necessarily that. He's losing, but truly the best player on the ice every time, right? Maybe he didn't have the best gold medal game for Canada, but he wasn't the worst player on Canada's team. There were a lot of guys who should have capitalized on opportunities for them. There are special types of athletes around the world that needed to get over this hump to become the greatest. It's Messi that comes up big time. Messi won everything at Barcelona. Let's not get that questioned. But for a while, for his country in Argentina, who have big international aspirations, he could not win an international tournament. He did not win a Copa America. He went to the World Cup final, Copa America final. He actually retired from Argentinian football after one of their Copa America losses. And truly it looked like the end for Messi playing for Argentina. A boy who was the next Maradona coming up, has done everything for Barcelona as an individual. He did everything in his career, but for the blue and the white, for Argentina, he could not win. Copa America happens, the World Cup happens, he wins both, he wins another Copa America. Is there any questions about Messi's legacy, about being an Argentinian legend, about being an international legend? Probably he's the greatest of all time. And are we having different debates about him and Ronaldo or him and Pele or even Maradona if he can't win an international tournament? For a long time, Ronaldo had that where he carried a smaller country with less international prowess in Portugal to a Euros championship. He made runs with Portugal in the World Cup. Where was Messi? Why was he not doing that? He, again, went to a final, played against a Germany team, was very close to beating that team with an Argentinian team that was not very good. I mean, Messi had, for a lot of his younger years, did not have the roster to get him the international tournaments, but he definitely did now. But he was still the star boy. He was still the man that led the Argentinian team. I don't think that's a question, right? He was the one that every player looked to in the big moments, in the big spot, the captain, the leader, and that's exactly what the greatest do. They rise up, whether it is decades, like it was close to 10, 12 years of really international struggle for him, and a tournament that only happens, every 4 years. You talk about Copa America as well, but he rose up and he delivered in the finals as well. He delivered throughout that entire tournament, showing up, and that is exactly why he's the greatest of all time. On the other side of it, you look at like Dan Marino, one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, but truly it's hard to talk about his legacy being anything above, top fives when you look at the other quarterbacks are winners. When you look at Brady, you think winning. You think of dynasty. You think of greatness. You think of maybe longevity. Marino just didn't win, and that is a hard thing to go into and to just not win, right? Especially in a sport like football, American football, where football is a quarterback league, right? Quarterbacks, if you have good quarterback play, your chances of winning are super high. You look at current day like that, it would be, you look at Lamar Jackson, you look at Josh Allen, especially Josh Allen this year, if you really want to look at it. I think he's somebody who really, choked. This is the best run, the best chance he's had in his career to make a run to the Super Bowl, to win a Super Bowl, and he didn't. Couldn't beat the Broncos. Right? On other sports side of things, you look at Aaron Judge. I'm a Yankees fan. Aaron Judge is the greatest right-handed hitter the game has maybe ever seen. I think probably him and Pujols are in the conversations, but what Aaron Judge does to baseballs is insane. But he's playing for the greatest franchise in sports, the most winningful franchise in sports. But he hasn't necessarily showed up to the levels they've wanted in the postseason. I know his last season was a lot better for him, but really he hasn't risen up to the levels that most expect of him. He has not won a World Series for the Yankees, and the time is ticking for him and his career. And it's hard to say this as a Yankee fan, as somebody who was named after Derek Jeter, who's loved Yankees his whole life, who followed Judge and was there when he hit his first homer and watched and loved every second of Judge's career. But truthfully, it is one of those things that'll go down in Judge's thing when he goes into Cooperstown, is for the most winningful franchise in the Major League Baseball Association, he did not win a World Series championship. You can have all the MVPs, you can have all the Silver Sluggers, whatever you want, but at the end of the day, can you win for your franchise? And that is the big thing in sports. And just relating it back to McDavid, to kind of recap it up, is McDavid is, in my opinion, the most talented hockey player of all time. Gretzky is a better winner, better stats, completely different era. I love Crosby. Crosby's my favorite non-flame of all time. He is amazing. He's a captain. He's a leader. He's a winner. He's clutch, right? He's done those things. But McDavid's more talented. And I think when you truly compare greatness in the hockey world, winning is important in any sport at any time. McDavid is young. McDavid has time, but as the years dwindle, as the Oilers franchise continues to try and figure out their lackluster organization building around McDavid, I think could have capitalized a lot better. I think that truly it's going to be interesting to see what happens with McDavid. I don't think McDavid is going to leave Edmonton. I do think he loves Edmonton, even though that hurts me as a Flames fan. A 2-year deal, making less than he deserves because he wanted to build a roster to win, but he hasn't won yet. And the story grows, and continues for Connor McDavid. Sky's the limit for this player. He's truly special, but you have to win to be the greatest.